The Other Zoey is a pretty enjoyable film. This was released in 2023. It's directed by Zandieh, written by Matthew Tabak, and we have a cast including Josephine Langford and Starkey. We also have Andie MacDowell, and it's really enjoyable. I rather liked it. Zoey is working in a bookstore while she's at college, and she's helping Zach find a book, and Zach then leaves the bookstore, and he leaves behind his card, his credit card or debit card or whatever it was. So, of course, Zoey goes after him to try and catch up with him. And as she calls his name, he's on his bike and a car hits him. And he obviously falls to the ground, hits his head, gets amnesia. And when he comes to, he thinks that Zoey is his girlfriend. Now, it just so happens that his girlfriend is actually called Zoey. So he heard her name and registered, oh, that's the name of my girlfriend. You must be my girlfriend. And to help, wanted her to go to the hospital with him, of course, thinking that she's his girlfriend. And Zoey was encouraged to do this to help alleviate stress. And of course, Zoey doesn't really know what to do with this, but she goes along, and it just gets in, she gets in a little bit too deep, as everybody thinks that she is the real Zoey, the girlfriend Zoey. And Zach had also told his family about the girlfriend Zoey, but they'd never met her. So when she's introduced as Zach's girlfriend Zoey, it's a perfectly believable situation. And obviously, it's a little too late. Well, it might be a little too late for Zoey to come out with the truth now and say this is mistaken identity. I'm not that Zoey. But also, she's starting to enjoy spending time with the family and other people. And it's a case of, will they find out the truth? And if so, how will they react? And what will happen if and when the real Zoey finds out the truth? And I rather enjoyed this quite a lot. I thought as a story, it worked really well. The pacing was really good. The narrative development was really effective as well. Zoey as a character goes on quite a journey. She starts off being not interested in love and romance, and over the course of the film, maybe her opinions start to change a little bit. So as a story, very well executed. The characters are very well written, very likable. In general, it's believable. A lot of these stories, I watch a lot of films where a character has amnesia and there's a case of mistaken identity. There are a lot of films out there like this, and generally they're pretty enjoyable. And often they're a little unbelievable, unrealistic. You need to suspend disbelief. And yeah, to an extent, that's the case here as well. Partly because we just have a lot of coincidences, such as his girlfriend being called Zoey. What are the odds of them both having the same name? The family knowing about her, but have never seen her. So yes, I'd say suspending disbelief here does help, but not to any great extent does that need to be the case. Generally, it's a well-written story, great characters, great performances, nice variety in the activities in the film, the activities that the characters do. So I have no complaints. As I said, there are quite a lot of films out there like this, where one of the characters, usually a male, but not always, and I think that's largely because they are marketed at women. Rom-coms are, for whatever reason, marketed at women, so the protagonist is usually female, and they meet a male who has amnesia, and obviously that's no different here either. And generally, I like them, because the big question is always, will people find out the truth, and how will they react? And even though there are a lot of films like this, that moment is often very different, and I look forward to finding that out, and the journey here was an absolute delight. So all things considered, I'd say The Other Zoey is a great film with some well-written, likeable characters, great performances, and ultimately, it's a film I'm happy to recommend.